Hello and welcome back to the Werewolf Movie Channel. Sorry about the little break there. Little Errol is doing very, very well. Look at him, look at him, look at it. It's beginning to look a lot like Errol. Anyway, it's all going really well. But yeah, not a lot of time to edit videos. Anyway, we're back. It's a rare pleasure here on the WMC when I get to cover something that's relatively current and algorithm friendly. And rarer still that I get to combine my love of werewolves with my love of all things Marvel and comic book in general. So this month I'm putting the I Was a Teenage Werewolf review on pause and devoting episode 6 to the Disney Plus Halloween special, Werewolf by Night. Spoiler warning, as always, we're in spoilers right from the start, ladies and gentlemen. Marvel are doing a couple of these non-sequential holiday special one-off things. They've also just done the Guardians of the Galaxy Christmas special, which was really good and lots of fun. In general, I enjoy the little in-universe MCU Disney Plus series for what they are, but this one is clearly a bit of a stylistic step away from their PG-13 roots. It seems that this was originally meant to be a sort of all-purpose Halloween Marvel Monster Mash roundup, showcasing their supernatural roster of characters while presumably giving them a chance to see how their audience handles gory content. They are, after all, preparing their supposedly R-rated Blade movie, and he has had his run-ins with Jack Russell in the comics more than once. But since it's easier to sell a single character than an ensemble, and Jack is the most likely one to show up in the MCU moving forward, Werewolf by Night it is. As such, there's a bit more splatter and ear-chewing and things like that than you would normally expect. But given that pretty much the entire special is stylised in black and white, the gore doesn't quite have the impact it would have in colour. I really only have one serious problem with this special, and it's a big one, but yeah, we'll come to that. The story is a pretty simple, self-contained tale. A secret society of monster hunters has gathered to compete for the right to wield the magical Bloodstone. The Bloodstone will give them power over monsters of any kind, and the bearer becomes the automatic leader of the Order. In attendance are Carolyn Manson, Dull Blade, Beardy McAnger, and two characters from the comics. Werewolf by Night himself, who's known in his human form as Jack Russell. God, I love comic books. And Elsa Bloodstone. Elsa is the daughter of Ulysses Bloodstone, the now deceased former leader of the group. Anyone who enjoyed reading Warren Ellis's excellent Next Wave comic will crack a wry smile imagining Elsa shooting people, telling them they're going to go home in the back of a fucking ambulance. Presiding over the competition is Elsa's wicked stepmother, who is, to be completely fair and balanced to her, kind of a bitch. The Bloodstone has been embedded in the hide of a terrible monster and hidden in a maze. The first hunter to get the Bloodstone and kill the monster wins, and they're quite free to kill each other as well. The wandering about goes on for a bit too long for me personally, but there are a couple of nice twists as Jack reveals that his true intention is actually to rescue the monster, with whom he has an odd couple buddy dynamic, and to top it all, the monster turns out to be none other than the Man-Thing, who is referred to throughout as Ted. Jesus. Eventually, Jack is found out and identified as a monster, and obviously everyone immediately turns against him. They lock him in a cage with Elsa and inform him that full moon or no, the Bloodstone will transform him into his werewolf persona. But he escapes, tears about the place, and without going into too much detail, the bad guys lose, and the still bad, but more likeable guys win. I enjoyed the execution. I thought the mix of chaotic Marvel-style fight choreography and added splatter worked really well. The physicality and movement of the werewolf are quite unique and executed with a budget and finesse that most werewolf movies simply don't have. The way Jack throws his whole body around the place, leaping off walls and swinging and slashing and picking up people and throwing them around, I like it. And when they light him or frame him in shadow or from behind, or in any way generally that doesn't put the face design in full light in centre screen, it looks great. In fact, I spend a lot of time saying to myself, wow, that looks great, but it does look like they're trying very hard not to show the face for some reason, but... And then this happens. Right, now, may I just for 1 second stop and take a moment to ask just one simple question. What in the very living, goat-skinned, 8-legged buggery fuck is this? This is the studio that bought us Thanos. This is the studio that made a talking raccoon completely believable. This is the studio with the finest CG animators and motion capture people alive. And you mean to tell me that this Fraggle Rock comedy eyebrow plasticine face bullshit is what they signed off on? Because that is a goddamn shame. That's just disappointing. I enjoyed most of it, don't get me wrong. I'm not someone who goes into comic book adaptations carrying with me the expectations or hope that I'm going to have an earth-shattering experience. I just want what the comic books themselves used to give me, a tightly packed set of visual thrills and some cool events unfolding. And you'd think that of all the people out there you could count on to pull off a cool-looking combination of practical and CGI effects to create a convincing fantasy genre character, Marvel and Disney would have been top of the list. Man-Thing is completely CGI and he looks amazing. I really don't get it. I love a practical suit. I love practical effects. I think everything but the face looks superb. But this is what I'd expect to see on the face of a guy playing the Beast if they did Beauty and the Beast on Broadway. You'll notice that on this channel I very rarely talk about things as objectively good or bad, preferring instead to talk about whether I found something effective or not. Even when I review a film I didn't enjoy, I try and be even-handed with it. This, to me, is not effective. This is just subpar. And if you see this character again in any kind of ongoing MCU property, I would bet folding money that the design will have undergone a significant overhaul. Keep the actor, as Gael Garcia Bernal is great, and for God's sake, keep Ted, okay? Protect Ted. Just make the face look a bit less Jim Henson, you know, a bit. That's like it was designed for a Disney Channel movie aimed at 6-year-olds. Maybe we could even get something approximating the way Werewolf by Night looks in the comics. See this? I would enjoy seeing this on a Marvel budget. I would enjoy that. Please give me to enjoy this. I would enjoy. Overall, I found this a funny, charming and stylishly executed one-off, and a worthwhile first lunge in the direction of some actual R-rated grown-up horror content in the MCU, just with one deeply subpar piece of design. I look forward to seeing this character again in a slightly more intimidating form, and I think this should be a yearly thing now. Let's have a Halloween special every year. Fantastic idea. I would watch the shit out of it. This has been Greg Blackman for the Werewolf Movie Channel. Patreon. Please give me all your money. All your money. Keep none for yourself. You may not eat. I have to make werewolf movies. I don't make the rules. That's just the way it is. Please also do so many things. Oh, the things you have to do. Good Lord, you could bottle them. I'm making a slideshow of them now. But please, all of them things, please do. This has been your very baby-brained Greg Blackman. This is the Werewolf Movie Channel. Stay off the moors. Don't use silver cutlery. And I'll see you again soon. Aru and stuff.